I'm Molly with the Coastal Watershed Council, and welcome to our activity guide for neighborhood pollution prevention. Our guiding question is, how do human actions influence the health of the environment? In this activity, you will survey your neighborhood for sources of pollution, learn about stormwater runoff and sources of pollution, and identify an action you can take to stop stormwater runoff. And you will need paper, pen, colored pencils and pens, that's optional, and an activity guide that you can either print out or you can find online. It looks like this, and you can access it at the Coastal Watershed Council website, or your teachers may have sent it to you. Is there any pollution in your neighborhood? Let's find out. You're going to survey your neighborhood by walking around and counting the times you see each of the below sources of pollution. And you're going to rate the pollution level. So say, for example, you're walking around and you see some dog poop or some pet waste on the ground. And in fact, there are 3 different pieces of the dog poop that dog owners or dog parents didn't pick up. So you're going to write down the number 3 under count. And then you see how there's the green, the orange, and the red boxes. That's going to be for a pollution level rating. Now, if we saw 0 poops, that's awesome. That's low or no pollution. If we saw 1 to 4 poops, that would be medium pollution levels. And if we saw 5 or more poops, that would obviously be a high pollution level. So we counted 3. Where would we put that? That's right, it would be medium because we saw 1 to 4 poops. So we're going to find Sam on his walk in his neighborhood, and he's going to be modeling what he notices as part of his walk.
So I'm working on the neighborhood pollution prevention worksheet, and I'm just walking around my neighborhood looking to see if I find signs of piles of leaves or oil leaks. And in fact, I do see some really interesting dark color on the ground that doesn't look like it's natural. I'm guessing it's from a car that was parked here for a while that was leaking oil. So I'm seeing these dark kind of spots of the asphalt. So I'm gonna go ahead and find the oil leak. And so far, I'm gonna write down that I see kind of 1 spot of oil leak, and I'll continue on my walk.
Thanks, Sam. Now it's your turn. So ask permission if you can go outside, walk on your neighborhood, or then maybe someone in your family will join you. And you're going to be looking for different sources of pollution. Check out that list that you can find on a PDF, or here it is so you can take a look at it. And then pause the video. Do that activity and then come on back when you're done. We'll continue the conversation. Awesome, welcome back. On your walk in your neighborhood, you were looking for non-point source pollution. Non-point source pollution is pollution that we can't directly identify where it comes from. Unlike knowing that a certain chemical came from a certain local factory, we can't tell which dog the poop came from or which car leaked the oil. And when it rains, that pollution can go down to storm drains. Now, you've probably seen storm drains. Storm drains drain water from rainstorms to prevent streets from flooding. Unfortunately, rainwater will pick up and carry pollution to drains, which empties directly into the river or ocean. This is what's called stormwater runoff. And stormwater runoff is not healthy for the rivers, for the ocean, for the wildlife that call those waters home, or for ourselves. And so we need to figure out what we can do to stop and prevent stormwater runoff. If you want to learn more about it, take a look at this link below. Paste it into another screen, watch that YouTube video about stormwater runoff, and then come on back. While walking in your neighborhood, you counted the different sources of pollution that you found and then gave a rating for the pollution level for low, medium, or high. Now, you're going to review your notes and look for medium to high pollution levels observed in your neighborhood. And then on a blank piece of paper, or if you happen to print out the activity guide PDF, you're going to write down the high pollution levels and then describe how you could reduce the pollution levels. To help you out with this, let's review some of the ways we can stop the pollution. So for example, if you find people washing their car in a driveway, other places you can wash your car is on a lawn or in a car wash. If you see a pile of leaves, stop those leaves from entering a storm drain by putting leaves in yard waste bins or compost piles, or bag those leaves and leave that garbage bag for garbage pickup. Now, we can stop oil from reaching storm drains by placing a container under the car to catch oil, or get our car checked by mechanics to stop those oil leaks. What if we saw a paint or chemical spill? We can stop those by storing paint or chemicals in a bin or tub. And we can store paint or chemicals where they can't get wet or spill. Hopefully you didn't see any trash, but if you did, one way we can stop trash from getting into our storm drains is check around your car for litter each time you get in or out, and make sure the trash and recycling bins have all of the trash or recycling in them. We should always pick up after our dogs and throw away the poop in the trash. We can also save plastic bags and carry them with you to pick up the poop. We can clean up storm drains by sweeping away trash and leaves away from the storm drain and placing trash and leaves in a bag for garbage collection. And finally, let's report sewage leaks. So if you smell something really funny, call the City of Santa Cruz or to Santa Cruz County to report sewage smells or visible signs of sewage flow. So now, pause the video and think about what were the medium and high pollution levels, and based on the information we just shared, what could you do to prevent those sources of pollution? Go ahead and pause the video, work on that, and then come on back when you're done. Awesome. Now it's time for us to take action and to make a difference. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to reduce and prevent pollution in your neighborhood. And you have two different choices for how you can do this. Option 1 is to create a pledge of your own actions. And option 2, draw a poster to teach others about how we can reduce pollution. Here's an example of a pollution prevention pledge. You can write something out like this or make your own, but just make sure that you describe the action you will take and then when you'll take that action. Sign and date it, and then post it somewhere where you can see it every day. If you choose option 2, to draw a poster to teach others, get a blank piece of paper, write a fun or catchy phrase that will teach other people about an action that helps to prevent pollution. So for example, only rain down the storm drain, or there's no poop fairy, pick up your dog's poop, or pick up trash and throw it away. And then draw a picture you'd like people to take, and then write one sentence about why this action is important. And then take a picture of your poster and share it on social media. Do you need some ideas? Check some of the posters that the Coastal Watershed Council have made to help teach people about the importance of reducing pollution. Alright, so have fun creating those posters. And remember, you can make a difference. How can you use what you learned today to help our community and nature? Those posters are an amazing example of what you can do to share your knowledge. Thanks for joining me today. It was fun to explore with you. You can find other activities at the Coastal Watershed Council website at coastal-watershed.org. And if you have any questions, you can email me at mbain@coastal-watershed.org. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.